Now I'm recording. Oh my gosh. Zoom. That's going to be the death of me. So now that I'm recording the notes, what I want you guys to do is here in class while we're together, I expect you to be taking notes on your paper. Your homework is worth 4 points. One of those points, so 25% of your homework grade, is literally showing me pictures of your homework, like of your notes. So if you take notes during class, including vocab, so here's vocab, I define everything for you. Make sure you write it all down and take a picture of it because that's part of your homework. 1 point from your homework is turning it in on time. So if you're late, you automatically lose 25% of your score on your homework. The other 2 points are from showing your work. If you do not show your work, you lose 2 points. That brings you down to 0. Now, usually, if you make some effort, I'll give you a point, but that's still 25%. So 4 points for homework. And then what happens is you can lose points for being late. You lose points for missing notes. You lose 2 points for not showing work. And you only get 1 point if it's just answers. Because if it's just answers, realistically, you're probably copying it off the internet. Like, maybe you're just not showing your work, but honestly, I can't tell. So I'm just going to assume the worst, because most of the time it is the worst. And if I see just answers, I assume you're cheating. The other thing that's critically important is if you skip problems, I don't care if you skip even one problem, it's still minus 1 point. If you skip more than one problem, you might lose even more points, like up to 3 of them. So if your homework is just not done, you're not going to get points for it. So just a reminder, you always, always, always need your notes. Please turn it in on time. And the deadlines are always posted with the homework assignments. And always show your work. Like, you just have to do that. If you're going to cheat, I obviously can't stop you, but it's why people fail this class. It's very easy to find answers online. But if you do the work, then you won't have to take the class again. Because this is one of those classes that you have to take over and over and over again until you pass it. Otherwise, you cannot graduate. So that's all doom and gloom, but it's important that you know. And I have no clock. I don't even know what time it is. There we go, 10:26. So we're doing fine. Yeah, so it's important that you know how we grade things in here. Something else that's really important is vocabulary. So vocab is on every final and listed.
You have to write down this stuff?
I would, yeah. It's part of your notes. But vocab is on every final and listed in each section. So what that means is not only am I going through it with you here together in notes, you're going to get the section of textbook as a PDF so you can do the homework. But every single section is going to have more notes and examples and all of the vocab words. So you know in advance exactly which vocab words are going to be on the test. Your final is going to have every single vocab term that we have from the entire section of the book that we study. So we're going to study chapters 6 through 13 this spring. And it seems like a lot, but when you spread it out over the number of days we have, it's really not that bad. And every chapter, most of the time, every chapter is going to have a chapter test. There's going to be a vocab quiz. And then sometimes there's a mid-chapter quiz. Now, other than these assignments, you're just going to have the homeworks. So you're going to have homework for each section. Now, normally we do 2 sections a day. So what's going to happen is we'll talk about 6.1 today as we're going through all of the notes and how to be successful in this class. So we're just doing 1 section. But the next time we meet on Friday, we would do 6.2 and 6.3. Each one gets its own homework on the website. And make sure when you take the notes, just take pictures of it once and turn it in both times. Include it with each thing. It makes it easier for me and I really appreciate it. So that's just part of following directions. You do get points for following directions. You also get points for participating in class and for coming to office hours. My office hours are every day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. But really, just email me anytime. And I can help you out pretty much whenever. I'm available in the afternoon. And let me check my schedule because I just got my class schedule. Oh, maybe you guys can see this. Can you guys see the thing that I'm showing you right now? I'm sorry, I can't see chat. So if you guys can see it, just somebody tell me. But anyway, so my classes are in the afternoon from 4 to 5. That's for general science on days that we meet. And then tomorrow on B days, I'm going to meet with Algebra 1 at 5 p.m. So if you guys ever want to join me for a second Algebra 1 class, obviously you don't have to take notes or anything. But when we do that, you're welcome to come in. You can ask me to do examples. Just treat it like another office hours and it'll be fine. Like I'm going to go through all the same stuff that I go through with you guys because they meet tomorrow. So they're 1 day behind us. And you're welcome to come and just participate or not. You can just listen if you want. So you're always welcome to do that. Do come to office hours. You get a grade for it. If you're doing well, then obviously you don't have to come very often. If you're not doing well, or if you really struggled last semester, I want to see you at least once a week. And if you start to fall behind, then do the current work first. Which means whatever you're behind on isn't as important as whatever we're doing in class that day. Then do the old stuff. So if you missed a homework, then do whatever is necessary for that day and then go back and do the missing stuff. One more thing, which I think you guys will really like, is you can go back and redo old homeworks to get better credit on it, up to 75%. So if you forgot to do the notes with a homework, go fix it. Like take a picture of the notes, message me. You have to message me and tell me. If you don't message me, I'm not going to go check it. So you have to tell me that you did it. But message me, I'll check it, and I can give you the point back. The only points that you can't make up are when it's late, because that's a time thing. But other than that, you can go back. If I say, student, you didn't show your work, go back, do it, and show your steps. And that's how you get those 2 points back. So it's very easy to get a minimum of 75% in your homework category. Are there any questions so far? Any concerns or anything like that? No. Okay. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and finish the math part of our math class, and then I'll turn you loose. All right. So I'm going to leave this up for a moment. This is all policy stuff. Anytime you have a question about what's due or how you do something, just message me and let me know. It's always okay to ask me questions. And if you're really buried in homework, let me know that too. Like if I'm giving you too much, if I'm giving you too little, if, I mean, nobody ever complains that I'm giving them too little homework, but just saying. And sometimes you're going to have heavy homework days, and sometimes they're going to be light days. So I try to mix it up so you're not stuck doing the same thing all the time. So it should never be super heavy homework every single day. And if you need more time on an assignment, just let me know before it's due. If it's late and you say, I need more time to do it, it's already late. So you have to tell me in advance that you need more time. Okay. So coming back to the math part here, we've got our system of equations. So we have y equals x plus 2 and y equals 3x minus 2. These are two different lines. They're two linear equations. Now, any two equations, any two linear equations, are going to have three possibilities for solutions. So let me start a fresh page here. I'm going to rewrite our equations here. So I have y equals x plus 2, and I have y equals 3x minus 2. I'm going to check and make sure those are right. Yes. Okay. So the way it works is each one of these is a line, and a system of equations specifically linear equations, because other equations will do different things, but a system of linear equations can have one solution, that's the intersection. It can have no solution, because the lines are parallel. And it can have infinite solutions. And that's when the lines are the same. So when I say the lines are the same, I could say something like 2y equals 2x plus 2 and y equals x plus 1. This right here is infinitely many solutions, because when you simplify it, they're the same equation. For the top equation, you would divide by 2. You would have 2y equals 2x plus 2. Divide everything by 2, and you get y equals x plus 1, which is the same as this one. And that's how you would get infinitely many. So one solution is what we're going to focus on because it's more interesting. If the lines are parallel, That means they have the same slope. So we're going to solve by graphing. I know graphing is your favorite thing on the planet, but for a lot of this stuff, it's made way easier by actually just graphing it. So here's the thing. Do it on graph paper or I'm not going to accept your homework. Like, period. You guys all had those instructions before winter break happened. You have to be doing these problems using real graph paper. So if it's not on graph paper, don't bother turning it in. I'm going to make you redo the whole thing. I don't care if your notes are on graph paper, because they're notes. They should be, because then you can graph things properly. But here's the requirement for graphs. Graphs on graph paper. The reason why is because you have to be so precise when you're graphing to get a solution. It's just not doable with lined paper. It's really not. It takes too long. It's too much of a pain. Do it on graph paper. You need to show your work. Now, when you're graphing, you may not have that much to show, but whatever there is, I want you to show it. Show your steps. Use a ruler. And I do mean for everything. Unless you're graphing a parabola, which is curved, you need to use a ruler. So your axes, your lines, everything needs to use a ruler so it looks neat. Make it big. Now, do I mean you need the whole sheet for every single graph? No, that's not necessary. Sometimes it might help to do it that way, and honestly, graphing can be easier when you make it big, but it doesn't have to be like half a sheet. So I would say probably something like this is the minimum. That size. So if you're making it teeny tiny, like a little postage stamp, don't do that. You're making it too hard. It's easier if it's big. And the last thing I'm going to say here is use regular intervals. Now, regular means the same. They're predictable. So let me show you what that would look like. And I'm going to go ahead and put my graph here. And there we go. There's my axes. It's about that size. It's a little bigger, but that's just because I threw it on there. And this should really be over a little bit, but it's not, it doesn't have to be quite perfect, just really close. So I want to graph y equals x plus 2, and I want to graph y equals 3x minus 2. And to do that, I'm actually going to graph them in 2 different colors. It makes it easier if you graph in different colors. If you don't have different colors to graph, don't worry about it. It's not required. But I can, so I'm going to, because it makes life just a little bit easier. Okay, let's see. So here's an orange pen. They're brand new. I love gel pens. And I'm going to graph this one. So y equals x plus 2. Now, this is y equals mx plus b form, that's slope-intercept. We studied that extensively last fall. So plus 2 is our intercept here on the y-axis. And our slope here is 1, which means I can go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And there we go. So do enough points that you can see what's going on and then connect the dots. All right, there's my orange line. Put arrows on it Arrows mean they're linear. That's very important that you do that. If you don't put arrows on it, you put a segment. Now, a segment is just a part of a line. It's like saying, here, I just want one segment of my lifespan. I only want this short period between the ages 15 and 17. Well, that's like you don't exist before 15 and you stop existing after 17. You want the whole thing. You want the entire length of the line, so put arrows on it. The other one is y equals 3x minus 2. Okay, also a new pen, there we go. So minus 2 is my y-intercept, so here's this one. My slope is 3x, so I'm going to go up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Hey, it touched there. And then up 3 over 1. You can also go backwards. So here's my, my intercept. I can go down 3 to the left 1 to go backwards. Now I'm going to connect the dots here, like so. And there's my new line. So here's what solving by graphing means. Right here, that is our solution. And now you're going to need to give the ordered pair. So the ordered pair is going to be 2, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's my solution. Now here's the deal. You're not done yet. So when I want the solution for these two equations, that's this ordered pair, but check it. Okay, you have to check it. So for y equals x plus 2, I'm going to say 4, 2 comma 4. I'm just going to plug it in and see if it's true. 4 equals 2 plus 2, true. Awesome, it's true. Now we're going to check the second equation. That's y equals 3x minus 2. So here's 4 equals 3 times 2 minus 2. 4 equals 6 minus 2. True. Now you're done. So you must show that you've checked your work in addition to graphing it to find this. And that's how you're going to do the work here. So let's do one more of these. I'm not going to go and be super, super, super slow like I was, because I was going real slow going over a bunch of stuff. And I'm just going to show you how it works pretty simply here. So let's say we've got 2 alligators. And the 2 alligators are going to have mass, and that's going to change over 12 months. So this is example 2. So what we've got is alligator 1 and his weight is equal to, let's see, and they tell us his weight is equal to 4 kilos plus 1.5 t, where t is in months. And W is weight. Now, gator 2, gator is an abbreviation for alligator, is weight equals, oh, he started at 6 kilos, he's a little bigger, plus 1 t. So he's increasing his mass by 1 kilo per month. This one's increasing his mass by 1.5. I say his. I don't actually know if they're male or female, but who knows? So these are our 2 equations. We want to know, when will they weigh the same? So I'm just going to solve by graphing. I'm going to keep it simple. So here's this. And you can always get more graph paper. And I'm going to show you something kind of handy here. When you're measuring weight, it's never going to go negative. Like it's not going to have negative mass when you're weighing these alligators. And I know I'm going to get some fairly large numbers here because it's over 12 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change where I put my x-axis. This is my y-axis. And I'm going to change where I put my x because I know what I need. I need more space in the first quadrant. So I'm actually going to just come down here and put it down at the bottom. All you need is the section of the graph that describes what the interesting part of your lines are doing. So here I go. My intercept for the first equation is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And my slope is 1.5. So I'm going to say 1.5 is really equal to 3 over 2. And that gives me a nice rise of 3 and run of 2. Don't try going up 1.5 every single time. What's going to happen is you're going to make mistakes. Make it a fraction. Do not do decimals. Fractions. Fractions are your friend. Up 3 over 2. And that's good enough. So here's my first graph. And I'm not going to put anything in the negative because we just talked about how you can't have negative mass. And I'm just going to extend it like so. I'm not putting an arrow here because my graph actually stops. My alligator does not have negative mass. Now, I'm going to look over here. Here's my weight for the second one, and I'm going to graph this in a different color. So my intercept is 6, so that's up there. And my slope is 1. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Hey, there we go. Like so. So now when I graph this, as I just hit my camera, awesome. I'm going to come over. Here's that. All right, and right here is my new solution. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's what this means. Down here is T in months. Up here, this is weight in kilos. So what this means is in 4 months, they will both weigh 10 kilos. And then you would check it to make sure it's true. Sometimes it's not true. Like if you make a mistake, checking it is going to show you, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. So for my first equation, I have W equals 4 plus 1.5 T. So 10 equals 4 plus 3 halves times 4. That simplifies to 2. So I get 10 equals 4 plus 6. True. The second one, W equals 6 plus T. So 10 equals 6 plus 4, also true. So this is our solution. All right, so your homework. Let me give you the homework assignment here. I will post it. It's just going to take me a little bit to get there. Your homework is going to be 11 to 29 odds. I give you the odds specifically so you can check your answers. So make sure you do check your answers. And then let's say 35 to 38 all. And, And that's good. We'll call that good for now. And that's chapter 6.1. And this is always due the day after we have class. So it's not due tonight, it's going to be tomorrow midnight. And the reason for that is if you want to come to office hours, you need to be able to do that before your homework is due so you can fix it before you turn it in. All right, that's all I have for you guys. So go forth, conquer. Please message me if you have any questions. Don't be shy. If I can help, I will. And let's see if I can switch back to my normal camera here. So, nope, I'm not inviting people. I'm not sharing stuff. Stop share. Hey, there we go. I think it worked. Awesome. Yeah, so just go ahead and let me know if you have questions. Start the homework sometime this afternoon, and I will see you all later. It's good to see you guys again. All right, bye guys.